Yo, what's going on everybody? It's Axel, and in this video, I'm going to show you the best ways to farm credits because there's going to be a credit booster weekend between the 7th and the 10th of May. Also, it doesn't matter if you're new to the game or have been playing for years because I have a method for each type of player. Now, let's get into the video. The first method is for new players that are around Mastery Rank 5 and below. To prove that anyone can use this method, I used Mag, who is one of the starter Warframes that you can choose, with a Zero Former and no Orokin Reactor build. I also used the Glaive, which is a Mastery Rank 1 weapon, and again, with a Zero Former and no Orokin Catalyst build. All you want to do is go to Gabby on Cerus, trigger the alarm, then at around the 3.5 minute mark, activate a life support capsule if required, and then start looking for extraction. Extraction will either look like this room or this one. Once you have found extraction, just wait there until the 5-minute mark, which then you will extract instantly. After completion, you will get around 25,000 credits, which can be doubled by a credit booster or the daily first win bonus to get 50,000 credits. When you stack both of them, which can only happen once a day, you will get around 100,000 credits for the 5-minute mission. 5 minutes of doing pretty much nothing and you get 100,000 credits is pretty alright, but I know some of you want to get millions in that time, and that is where the Prophet Taker comes in. Before you can do the Prophet Taker, you need to be rank 5 with Solaris United and have completed the first 3 Prophet Taker bounties at least once before you can constantly repeat the Prophet Taker phase 4 bounty, which is the Prophet Taker fight. I won't go too deep into the actual fight as it will take me several minutes, and I will be doing a separate video for the Prophet Taker, but I will share my recommended builds for the fight. The only frame you want to use is Chroma, because with his effigy you can double the credits that you get after defeating the Prophet Taker. This is the build you want to use, and yes, it is a 5-former build, but in return you can get 2 million credits in under 4 minutes or maybe under 3 minutes if you have the Zenith. So you better use it. Okay? As for primaries, the best one to use is the Zenith, which can only be obtained from the 100, 300, 500 and so on daily login reward. You want to use the Zenith because its semi-auto mode has infinite punch through. Therefore, in the pylon stages, you can just aim at the yellow markers to destroy them quickly. But if you're like me and don't have the Zenith, then the next best primaries are the Opticore and Opticore Vandal. The reason why is its ability to shoot through the shields around the pylons, but you will need line of sight as you cannot shoot through the terrain with it. You want to mod whichever primary you use with corrosive and cold damage, just like this. The best secondary is a magnetic Kuva Nucor, as it can cover heat, radiation, viral and magnetic with this build. As for melees, you want to use a Zor with Exodia Contagion. You want to mod it for gas and electricity. The build that I use is this, and the Riven can be swapped for Gladiator Vice or a 60/60 elemental mod that is not Vicious Frost. Lastly, you want to have a Smear Kavat as your companion, as it can double the credits you pick up if you get the doubled pickups and affinity buff. This buff can stack on top of itself, so in theory you can get a 32 pickup multiplier, but the chance of this is around 0.0000221327%. That is very low, and because of how low it is, I'm gonna try and do it, and I'll be doing it live on Twitch when the double credit weekend comes around. Link is in the description down below. Once you have defeated the Prophet Taker, it will drop 125,000 credits. Effigy will double this to 250,000. If you have a booster or had a Smear buff when you picked up the credits, it will be doubled again to 500,000 and double again to 1 million if you have both. Lastly, an event credit booster will stack on top, and that's how I got 2 million credits in one run. After doing 23 runs, I averaged just under 4 minutes a run, and that's with using the Opticore Vandal. If you were to use the Zenith, you should be able to average 3.5 minutes per run or quicker. The last method, which is probably the most common, is the High Index. I would only recommend this method for players that cannot defeat the Prophet Taker in under 6 minutes with Chroma, or if you do not have Chroma at all. Before you can access the index, you need to be at least Mastery Rank 5, complete the War Within, and have also completed the Class Gambit quest, which can be started by talking to Ergo at the parent sequence. There are different builds that you can use, but I personally use Rhino with a Stropher. These are the builds that I use, and when doing the index, it is the most efficient to collect 15 index points and then deposit them. You also want to do 2 or 3 rounds before extracting if you can, so then you don't have to pay the wager every round. I generally complete one round in about 5 minutes, which works out to be 450,000 credits every 10 minutes when you do 2 rounds at a time. The credits can also be doubled to 900,000 with a booster. That is all for this Warframe video. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching.
Activate effigy, but I just needed to time it right. Yep, I just didn't time it right. I think I get 250 and you got 225, so the first credit drop